All right. So, how is everybody doing today? Let's do a little bit of. We don't have a slide for Philip Buckets, do we? Yeah, we do. We'll go right in really quick then, and we got our vendors in here, and who is on here is going to speak today, Kayla?
I'm not sure if Heather was able to make it to this one, David, but I know that Trisha is here.
Heather's on.
Heather's here.
Okay. Hi, Heather.
Right,
Hi. Do you want me to go ahead and start?
give us an update. What's going on in the home warranty world?
First of all, very important. Can you hear my dogs barking in the background? Of course, right when I start talking.
Hey, Heather, who let the dogs out?
Well, hello, Heather and Monica are here. Monica, can you wave and say hi? She's my wonderful new assistant. You haven't already seen her here. I'm very grateful. But my very quick tip is just to remind you all that it's air conditioning time, right? So we are having major conversations about air conditioning throughout the day. I just want to remind you all about our optional HVAC certification program. It's not required, but it is definitely a guarantee from our company that if there's a failure right after closing, the buyer will have absolute guaranteed coverage if there was a certification completed, meaning that what we did is we ruled out any kind of a pre-existing condition. It's been a little bit interesting in this industry right now because I know of inventory and sellers, but I have seen in a few circumstances where the sellers put their property on the market right away and they just wanted to get this out of the way to get this certified so that there was no question that the air conditioning system was working in the future for the buyer, whoever that future buyer was. So just as a quick reminder, $85 for the main unit, $35 for each additional. It's a 59-point inspection. This flyer that I can email you is really great because just presenting it and giving an option to the seller or the buyer, there is a waiver at the bottom. It says, after being advised of the benefits and the cost of the optional HVAC inspection, we decline to certify the HVAC unit. We agree to hold the broker and or agent harmless if there is later a failure that would have been covered had an HVAC inspection occurred. So if this was not completed, then we just fall back on every other home warranty company has the same verbiage in their terms and conditions that says everything has to be in good and safe working order. And as long as it is and no pre-existing conditions, then you're good, you've got coverage. This is just a way to be able to get it guaranteed before closing. So thank you, everybody. I'm here for you. Let me know whatever I can do for you. If you want to have a one-to-one WebEx meeting, I can conduct conference calls now. So thank you. I'm very grateful for all of you, and I hope you're all healthy and well. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. So also, guys, as we get going, some of you have noticed, especially we have a new sign that we put up. Go ahead and flip the screen, Kayla. Is you've seen it in the hallway, you're going to see it on the front, and eventually you'll see it on the east side office, is this sign called IntroLend. Switch the slide. All right, so IntroLend. So this is our in-house mortgage company where you've already seen it. We haven't like officially launched, so a lot of people have more questions than anything else. We are going to be doing a launch. We got a couple of details we're working through this week to make sure the app is smooth and different things like that. And a lot of you got to meet Becky Bassett that you've already met. You've seen the sign on the wall. And so we just want to make sure you see what's going on. Now, you're going to see some new functionality with this. It's not your everyday mortgage company. So you have some abilities to work with different lenders around town, believe it or not. And we'll start introducing those as we get them into the system. So that's what we're kind of working on right now. We were originally going to launch on Thursday. We had a little bit of a hold up or tomorrow, and we're looking to launch more next week. And this is going to be this is going to be a better experience for your buyers, which is the key here, is for you to get a better experience for your buyer, better, hopefully opportunities for them to get a better deal, and have some options on doing it. So a lot of you guys, you've heard Becky speak last week. You'll see it on the wall, and just get involved. You're gonna start hearing calls from us, et cetera, coming through. Something else, Lisa, you're on right now, aren't you?
Yes.
Lisa Sullivan, do you mind if I tell them what's going on with what you just texted me, what we texted about this morning?
Yeah, please do.
So I'm probably stealing thunder on this, that the broker should get. I'm just really stinking excited about what we're getting released from TAR, and that is Showing Time. It's going to be launched on June 24th. Lose the screen, please. Going to be launched on June 24th, and it is, honestly, I've been using technology in real estate since I started. The year I started in early 2002, San Antonio adopted I can't remember the name of it. Dang it. Because I've already gotten used to Showing Time. And
Centralized showing service.
What's that? Yeah, centralized showing service. There's my Texas gal. Thank you, Cindy. Centralized showing service we've been using for years. And basically, you're going to be able to do all of your showings technologically, where your seller can approve or deny the showing on their phone. And so it's we have a real estate team in San Antonio, and when I have somebody that's personal over there that's buying or selling a home, they put me on the texting function, and I see every time there's a showing, I see every time it's approved, I see when the inspector goes in, I see when the appraiser goes in, and I can't tell you how excited I am for this, because it's going to give your sellers a new experience. Some of you are going to be resistant to it. I don't mean that negatively, because you're used to a system way you're doing it. I promise you, you're going to get your life back. You're not going to have all this thing, especially doing a lot of listings. I haven't even told Tracy about it. She left before I got on here, before I saw the text from Lisa earlier. So as you can tell, I'm really stinking excited about this. We've needed this for a long time, and it's coming out of TAR. So June 24th, is that right, Lisa?
June 23rd.
June 23rd, okay, perfect. Be launching out. I'm actually going to bring people over here that already know how to use it from San Antonio. Some of the people on our real estate, on the Jones real estate team in San Antonio, I'll bring them over here on my dime. They get to intermingle with the other agents anyway. Some of y'all saw some of him, Tom, earlier. He was wandering the office last week. Anyways, we'll bring them over and just let them teach it. They use it all the time. It's all they use over there on doing things. So, Lisa, thanks for that great news. You made my day with that, believe it or not. So,
Glad.
all right. So, guys, any fill of buckets? Anybody got some buckets they want to fill?
I do.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have two fantastic managing brokers that have my back all the time and allow me to actually have sort of a life now. And I just want to give a shout out to both Nancy and to Wendy. They're both doing a fantastic job, and I couldn't live here without them. They're just amazing.
Fantastic. I totally agree. Love their attitude. Love seeing them. They're always smiling.
Yeah.
Always constructive feedback. I'm very proud of the team you put together, Lisa. So thank you. I'll fill your bucket. I'll put that team together.
Thank you.
All right. Any other buckets you want to fill?
I do. I want to.
Hey, Valerie.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
I want to shout out to Jill Walker. I don't know what I would do without you. Love you, Jill. You have made my career in real estate that much easier. You are awesome.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Right back at you, Valerie.
All right. Anybody
Love
else?
you.
I have one.
Lily.
Hey, I just want to shout out both Kayla and Cheyenne. You guys are so sweet. Every time I ask for help, and Heather, actually, all of you guys, every time I ask for help, you make me feel like it doesn't bother you at all. And I just really appreciate you guys and how hard you work.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you, Lily.
You're welcome.
A lot of times, Lily, the reason we appreciate that is because, no news to us sometimes is good news. So when we hear about doing good things, really appreciate that.
Cool.
Anybody else want to fill a bucket?
I'd like to just thank Keller Williams team and especially Big Dan. He's really helped all of us who are on the PC calls and the early morning, get ready, wake up and, smell the coffee sessions. So
Yeah.
it's very encouraging. We're learning a lot and he's gave me a lot of confidence. And I just want to say thanks, Dan.
Teresa, thank you so much. All right, one more. Fill a bucket.
David, this is Hope. I'm going to echo Teresa's sentiment about Big Dan. He's very consistent, always positive, keeps us upbeat in the morning and sets the stage for the day. So to me, he has made a tremendous difference in my, where I'm going with my career. And I know he's helped others. And also, Teresa, a shout out to you. I don't know if you know this, David, but she facilitated a Zoom for a couple of us that were struggling with setting up a campaign. And she took time of her own to help others.
I did not know that, and I love it. That is who we. That is what makes us different. That's our culture right there. So, Hope, thanks for letting us know. She would have never said anything. She's so nice. So, Teresa, thank you. All right, so I want to go and talk about some shifting we're doing. Good shifting, by the way, and we got some people that we're putting into. We're just continually to improve. This is a continued with, when I came into OP position, let's see, January, February 2018, we were early on this push of one KWSA. Culturally, we did it first, started working, and we've had some things that we've tried and done, and then we've done some shiftings, and so our next transition, and I'm saying transition, it's not a change, really. These people are going to be doing what they've always done, is Cindy Powell she's our market center administrator. She's now our MCA for all of Keller Williams Southern Arizona. So she is now our CFO, is a lack of a better way of saying it. So guys, give her some love if you don't mind, Cindy Powell, in that position of MCA, CFO.
Thank you, David. I'm very excited.
So, and then as she's already been doing it, and I'm gonna give you a little more stuff on our staff in a minute that I'm really excited about, is Heather is just doing what she's always done, and that is we're a tech company, so we need to have a tech person. The region calls a tech driver. Now, Jesse Rojas is our tech ambassador. He sells real estate, and he overloads of his time. I'm not sure I can ever pay him for what he does for us, to be honest with you. What I want to do is help him make a lot of money in real estate and help with technology. So Jesse's not going anywhere, but he wasn't really a staff member, although some people thought he was. Jesse, I talked about the other day. Heather Olaboni is taking over as director of technology, what we call tech driver. We're a tech company. We need a tech driver. And she is, and she'll tell you in her job description, and basically I was typing it out. I just said all things technology. That is her job description. Command, anything going on with command, all of those encompassing items in there. Of course, our internal infrastructure. She was already doing the job. And when it came time, we had to the region was saying, look, you need a tech driver. There was only one person that I could think of for that. And that was Heather. So y'all will see Heather and what she's already been doing. And so give her some love, guys. We have a full-time tech person now with Keller Williams Southern Arizona.
Woohoo. Congratulations.
Thank you, Colleen. Thank you, Colleen, for the golf clap. Going through. Now, what I love, guys, is when I came into Tucson, we had very few people that knew the MCA role. Now we have multiple people. We have multiple people that know the role. They can fill in. People can take vacations. Don't get any idea staff, just kidding. People can take time off and not feel like nobody can do their job. And I think that is the strength right now of our operation and we're going to continue to cross-train each other at a high level. So very excited what we're doing on staff right now in our organizational chart. Lisa, with her new adding of Wendy, is really able to take on the real DB role and the operations role. And we're continuing to grow. We've already added, just so everybody knows, already this month, we've actually had, and Jay, help me, what is it, about 9 people have joined just this month already for Keller Williams Southern Arizona?
Yeah, I think it's actually going to be a little bit higher than that after the end of the day. We're probably.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
So the day's not over with you yet. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, correct.
So Kayla, don't go to the next slide because I don't want to give it away because I don't think it's staged in there. I want to talk about KW Cares and our KW Cares plan, and was our way. And we're gonna do some videos on this. I really think, guys, you're gonna be blown away on what the money we've given back. So everybody knows on the KW Cares plan, and Jay, why don't you go through the 3 phases real quick, and then I'm going to talk about the numbers if that's okay.
Let me unmute. There we go. Absolutely. The 3 phases where we gave immediate relief, which was an additional 10% of your GCI, we cut back to you. So you stayed on your same split, but we gave 10% back to you in an extra check. And most of all of you have received, some or part of those, maybe received all 4 if you're an individual agent, or 2 if you're a team member agent. The second phase was we gave you some credit off of if you attended Bold Pivot in May, then we waived your office fees for May. And if you ran $100 worth of ads in Facebook Lead Accelerator, which I saw Charlie on here, we are in the middle of his ad right now, and we are getting leads at 40 cents a lead. And I would love to share with you how that's going. But if you spend $100 in Facebook Lead Accelerator ads, you get your June $40 monthly charge waived. And then lastly, we announced that we were making a competitive cap adjustment and making a move from our cap from 15,000 to 10,000 at an 80-20 split for future competitiveness.
So now what I want to tell you about the month of May was we're doing May and June giving money back. And go ahead and flip it, Kayla. Thank you, by the way. Is we gave back in just company dollar, we gave back $44,676 back to the agents.
That's a big deal.
We can unmute and have a bunch of howling and whistling if we'd like right now.
Yeah, way to go.
$44,676.75. That is money that basically we forego back so people can have more cash flow in their lives right now. Second category you see right there is we gave back $4,640 in office fees. That's straight money that we ate as a company. I just want everybody to know that that money was paid for by the owners, basically, me and my partners, paid that money for those agents in that month. And then total office rent waived was $5,124.75 was office rent. I went and negotiated better leases, passed those on to the agents. Now, that's a total of $54,441.50 that we gave back to the agents, better cash flow, and different things. So I don't know about you guys. I was blown away when I saw those numbers. I knew they would be big, and I realized they'd be that big. So what do y'all think? Is that pretty cool?
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's cool. So, oh yeah. So let's on here, a couple people. We had asked if anybody had gotten a CARES check, would be willing to tell a little success story on what it meant to them, just kind of a testimonial. So Lily, I think I have your name on here, and tell us a little bit about, you said you would love to speak on how it impacted you.
Sorry, I was on mute.
There you are.
Yeah, I think that, well, first off, I think it's amazing because already I've been really proud and love working with Keller Williams, but it's really cool that at a time like this, the company just decided to create this plan that you guys kind of just did on your own for your agents. And it's so cool to receive that because it just shows again how much you guys care. So it's, of course, it's always amazing to get another check that you weren't expecting, but I think the bigger meaning that I took behind it was just knowing that I work with a company that actually legitimately cares at a time of like scarcity or fear, which is really awesome. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. Thank you, Lily. I agree. It's the kind of the culture of our company. It kind of epitomizes it, doesn't it?
Definitely. It's really cool.
All right. Appreciate it. Mara, you said you replied to the email. And so are you on, Mara? There you are.
Hey there. Well, just to echo what Lily said, it just really felt like the company cared about all of us, and I just really appreciate that. Obviously, it did make a difference in feeding my family, and again, just feeling cared about, and love our culture. I get calls now from other companies all the time, and I'm like, nope, not gonna leave Keller Williams, not gonna do it. And in addition to the money, I just really appreciated Bold Pivot and just all the training, and Big Dan's been amazing. So thank you guys for everything.
Mara, y'all are awesome. Anybody else on here have anything they would like to say just regarding the CARES plan, maybe what it meant to you, what your thoughts are, or maybe a testimonial of, hey, you got a little bit checked back and you're able to go do something that you couldn't have done, maybe even paid your rent, who knows? Does anybody else have a story, something they'd like to speak on regarding the CARES check you may have gotten? All right. So let's get moving. Let's go to some of our other boilerplate type items on here. Broker tip. Lisa, I'm going to hand it over to you. I don't know if it's you or one of your counterparts. So you got the floor.
Okay, I'll take it. Again, David brought up the showing time, which is a fantastic opportunity for us. And we need to thank our own Sue Carton, who is the president of MLS right now. She's been instrumental in getting this thing passed and through and up the flagpole so that we can take advantage of it. Take a look at the email I sent out to everybody this morning. There are multiple opportunities to do webinars and to learn about it, and it will go live on June 23rd. And as David said, we'll have things in-house as well. So just take advantage of that tool. It's going to be fantastic for both buyers, sellers, and listing agents. The other thing is the new exempt delay coming soon status form. We're still having questions on that. Please make sure you use the newest form. And also, once that is signed initially, it needs to be uploaded to MLS or to the TAR front desk. They do have to keep that on file so that they know that it is that it's available as a coming soon or exempt. Otherwise, people are doing pretty well. We haven't had any major problems this week that I can talk about.
All right. Is that it? That was easy this week.
Yeah, I'll send a letter out or a note out with all the bad stuff.
Got it. So, all right. So, Miss Cindy Powell, our new head MCA, you got an MCA tip for us.
I do, absolutely. So for the month of June, if you wanted to have your office bill waived, you needed to purchase a Facebook ad through Command. And so over at KLP, I've received, I think, 3 copies of receipts for agents that will waive their office bill for June. And I know that Cheyenne has gotten 2 or 3 over there. So if you purchase Facebook ads through Command and didn't send us the receipt, we would just ask that you do that because we will be doing office billing later this afternoon. So if you would like your office bill waived and you purchased a Facebook ad, just be sure and send us the receipt so that we can waive your office fees. That's it.
That was easy.
Easy peasy.
All right, now our tech driver, she's always been our tech driver. Now she just gets to focus on it 100%. So Heather, you got the floor. Heather?
Heather, you're muted.
I lost my tech driver.
All right, where's Heather? Is she here?
This is the most ideal time for
I know, exactly.
So we're trying not to bounce the mic since I'm in the same room as Kayla and she's running the slideshow. So what we're doing for Command is there are 5 spiderweb applets that we'll be focusing on over the next few months. And those spiderweb applets are contacts with smart plans, opportunities, designs, consumer or websites, and campaigns. And of those, we want to have 3 out of 5 of those adopted by almost 100% of our agents by the end of the year. So you'll be hearing from me and I'll be teaching strictly on those 5 spiderweb applets until the end of the year so that we can get those running at a high functioning level. And with that, I'm doing tech orientations now. We have 2 currently scheduled. One is June 12th, so this Friday, from 10 to noon, and then June 25th from 2:30 to 4:30, and they will both be live sessions at the JB office.
Perfect. So are you sending those dates out? Are they out somewhere for people to get them?
They'll be going up on the calendar on the 1KWSA page. And then we sent out personalized invites to all the brand new agents for the one that's coming up this Friday. But I am announcing it today because that we scheduled on Monday. And then the one for the 25th, we'll get an email out for people to sign up for.
Okay. All right. So let's go in here. Communication is the key. And I know that this is kind of a staff slide. So Kayla, who do you want to go over this? Would this be you or this be who's taking this slide?
I'm taking this slide. Sorry, David.
There you go.
Okay, so I'm gonna have Caitlin help all of you update all of your contact information. So if you started with a Gmail email and now you're using your kw.com email, if you have an updated headshot that you would like used, if you are not currently on our internal Facebook page, if you're not receiving text messages or emails from the Market Center, please reach out to Caitlin at the JV front desk. Her phone number is 520-615-8400, and she would love to help you guys update all of your information so that you're receiving all of our upcoming classes, our upcoming events, and just so you can stay connected in our Market Center. So if you have any questions or concerns with receiving things, please reach out to Caitlin.
So guys, we're going to continue to keep you clear on the who's who of the office, updating our who to go to sheet. And you're going to start noticing that there's less and less divide in Market Centers. And that is Caitlin's running the way of one roster now. Clearly, if you're in the East Side office, primarily you're licensed there, you'll be in that quote Market Center. Northwest office, Caitlin is doing the roster for everybody. And what you're also going to see is Kayla doing and handling the in-processing for all agents that come in to wherever they come in from. So you're going to see a lot of centralization in there, a lot of efficiencies, just continued on the vision. Like I said, one KWSA. We know each Market Center is going to continue to have kind of their own personalities, which we love. And we want to have less and less overlap. I mean, less and less separation and more overlap in what we're doing. So you'll continue to see these kind of things. Kayla and I are working, actually she is, I'm just going to help her get the right tools for keeping our handbook up to speed, the who to go tos, all those little things that you take for granted. All right. So Kayla, thank you. Next slide. Go ahead. All right. So who wants to do this one? Kayla?
I would love to do this one. So I kept this on here. I just think it's really important that everybody gets their bucket filled every week. We appreciate each and every one of you. I know that these are uncertain times, and I just want each and every one of you to know that you are so loved by everybody here, and we so appreciate any and all that you do, and we are here for you. So if you guys need a shoulder to cry on, a place to just, rest your head, and we're that support system for you. I take my position as agent services here very seriously. My position is literally for the agents. So I just want you guys to all know that we as a KW staff and family are here for you guys no matter what you need. So call, text, email, whatever you feel most comfortable doing. I am here for you. We are here for you.
All right. Well, Jay, I couldn't nail that timing any better. 30-minute mark, it's all yours.
If I would unmute my microphone, that would help. Hey guys, I hope you guys are doing well today. Last week we started a series, Back to the Basics, going through the KW, the MREA models. And David covered last week the economic model. So I hope that you spent some time walking through that, somewhat reevaluating where you're going in 2020. What kind of transactions do you need to get to reach your goals? And if that means you're, changing your goals a tad bit or figuring that out, we had that conversation, and I hope that you press through. Today, I'm going to be covering lead generation, and I'm actually going to be teaching you through some new curriculum that our brand new agents are going to be going through. And I think it's going to be helpful because there's a lot of visuals in here. You guys, I think we're going to walk away. My goal is for us to walk away with being able to really understand what lead generation in the MRE model means and how do we do it? How do we get into action? Not just learn for learning's sake, but learn to get into action. Sound good? Everybody good? Okay, good. Perfect. I got a thumbs up from David. So that's perfect. All right, you can hit the slideshow, please. That would be great. So we're going to start with what every successful agent does every day. And I see the pictures of everybody on the screen. We have a ton of very successful agents, but to be a successful real estate agent, you've got to work on growing your business and running your business. Growing your business, lead generate for buyers and sellers, make seller listing presentations and get listings, make buyer presentations and get those buyer agreements, and preview real estate. Running your business is marketing those listings, showing houses, negotiating contracts, all those things, right? What's a foundational piece? What do we have to do every single day to be a successful agent and have longevity in this business?
Lead generate.
Boom. Thank you, Jody Coke. You're going to be my sidekick for this thing. So stay unmuted. So yeah, next slide, lead generate, right? We're going to concentrate really on lead generating for buyers and sellers. Okay. If that is not the backbone of your business, you are going to struggle. And we've seen it. I've only been in the business for 2.5 years, and I've seen people come in and I thought they're going to kill it. But if they're not lead generating, you're not going to kill it, right? Lead generation has got to be the backbone of your business or you have no business. All right, so go to the next slide.
What Gary said, you're not in the lead generation business. You're in the lead generation business, focus on real estate.
Yeah, that's exactly correct. That is exactly correct. Here's the big picture. So when you understand this model, so this model has been put out end of last year, and we started talking to it, but now it's really starting to make sense to me. So can everyone see the model well? Understanding the lead generation provides a larger vision of the interconnected tasks. And I think once you start looking at this, and I'm going to shrink my pictures here so I'm not getting distracted by everybody. There we go. You're going to get a better understanding. At least I'm a visual person. And when I saw this, I started understanding exactly why Command was built the way it was built. And it's to help us to get people to work through this funnel at a faster pace. All right. So lead generation starts with these three things. So look on the left-hand side, right? You've got lead generation, you've got database or database management, and then you've got the sales pipeline down at the bottom. Do you guys recognize that the pipeline down at the bottom? Where do we see that in Command?
Opportunities.
Opportunities, exactly. So hopefully what you'll walk away with is you'll understand this at a little bit deeper level, right? How can seeing this picture, what does it make you think? What's your initial thought process?
System.
It's a system. That's great. Whoever said that. And please unmute yourself if this is going to be a talking time. What else?
So basically what I see is the funnel is large at the top. You have to capture a lot of leads and contacts in order to filter them down to a little bit fewer to cultivate and a little bit fewer to actually get all your appointments active. So you have to prospect a ton of leads in order to get the activity and the under contracts that you need.
To get to the closing amounts that you need to fund your big why, you've got to really fill the funnel. And on my side of things with being a TL, what I've really learned, and David has hammered into me, is I'm talking to a few people, right? And I'm getting those few people through the funnel. If I would talk to more people, I'm going to get more people through the funnel. You've got to open up that door to be having conversations with more people. And that's exactly what we've got to do as agents. We've got to open up different doors to be able to have more conversations with more people. Okay. Any questions or comments about that?
Yeah, the main thing I want people to know on this as well is the difference between a lead and a contact. And these are some of the things, if you've been around MREA for a while, and Dan loves when I pull out my vintage MREA, is that the terms that we're not using anymore, which I don't mind you using though in passing, is the words met versus haven't met. And I know,
Right.
Jody, you've been around for a while, you know those. We're not really using those words as much anymore. A haven't met really is going to be category number 2. And that is a lead is kind of a haven't met. So there's some terminology, and I just happen to be, because of being a bold coach, I've been in the inners of them teaching this to us, bold coaches, and really explained and drilled it into us the differences. So you're going to see some conflicting terms in here that some of your programming may tell you, I don't understand. So like if you've done Bold Pivot, or even the Bold Experience, a contact is a two-way conversation. In this context, a lead is somebody that you have a one-way relationship with. You know them, they don't know you. I'll say that again. You know them, they don't know you. So I'm at work, and well, hold on. I call my friend up at work. I go, hey, Jay, David Jones here, Keller Williams Realty. Hey, man, I really enjoyed that transaction. How's the house coming along? It's going great. Hey, I'm just calling, man. You're usually at this point, and after a closing, you kind of hear about people buying and selling, or wanting to. I mean, have you heard of anybody at work? You know, it's funny you said that, because so-and-so was just mentioning, Joe, the guy at work, was just mentioning, you know, I should go buy a house. And you need to give Joe a call. It's fantastic. Give Joe words. So I'm prospecting and marketing. If I see that at the top, number one, I'm making my calls. I'm prospecting and marketing. Then he goes, call Joe. Joe rents right now. And he was so excited about what I did. Came by, I saw the house. I told him what a great job you did. So now I have Joe's number. Joe is a lead. Have I got it? Now, when I call Joe, Joe doesn't know me. I know Joe. I call Joe. Joe answers the phone. Hey, Joe, David Jones over Keller Williams. I was just talking to Jay. He told you about buying the house. He said to give you a call, that you were thinking about buying a home because you're renting right now. Is Jay a liar? He goes, nope. Nope. You know what? I'm tired of, I hear this all the time, and I just, watching Jay buy that house. He's so happy. And Jay goes, now, all right, great. So now Joe turns from a lead to a contact. Contacts are people that they know you. You now have a two-way relationship. Now, Joe now goes into cultivate. Joe goes, I still got 8 months left on my lease. Janice, I go, all right, well, you know what? Let's connect. You got 8 months. Once you find out if you get out of your lease. And so Joe moves into cultivate. He's in my pipeline. I follow my pipeline. I work it. And then all of a sudden, Joe calls me up. He goes, all right, it's time. Got to do it. Fantastic. Let's meet up. I go to an appointment. We go under contract. Y'all get the routine. Have I got it? So, Jay, I hope you didn't mind me doing that just now on there.
I did. I know you. Hey, I know I can't stop you. Like you're going to coach it up. So that's no problem.
Well, this model right here, I think, I've told that the stories is really important to kind of see how it operates through there. So
absolutely.
This is a very cool model for us to follow along. So all yours,
absolutely. No problem. Thank you, David.
Interrupt too, because I want to add that in Command, it does it all for us. If you put that person in as a contact and you start typing and texting and emailing and calling, it saves all those things within the Command system, so you can easily track that person and cultivate them through that process. It's just a huge gift. So get in and learn Command quickly.
Thanks, Jody. That is 100% true. So, Kayla, why don't you go to the next slide? We'll it breaks the entire model out in a little different function, but exactly what David was saying. We're going to get into exactly what the difference between leads and contacts are, and how you use that functionality in Command, using 2 different touch systems to touch your leads versus your contacts. And I think that's really where you were driving, right, David, is you're going to contact them in a different way. People that you haven't met, you're going to contact in a certain way, and people that you've met, you're going to contact in a different way. And right. Command has really made that easy for us and helped us build in some automation where we can get this done with less time, have higher quality contacts in less time. Is that helpful for you guys? Do you guys have a lot on your plate?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So what we know and what we've learned through study, I was on a call with Josh Team this week, and he was showing some analytical data of Command and how people are using it, and they are learning at an incredible pace. You just imagine like how much data Amazon gets and they process, and how they can use predictive analytics to help us decide that we would love this pair of shoes. or we would love this handbag, right, Kayla? Whatever it is, same thing is going on with Command. We are learning at a very fast pace of what is working best, what kind of contact systems are working, and then we're able to pass that information down to help our agents. So, all right, let's go real quick. So you have the 3 areas, right? You have lead generation, you have database, and then you have the sales pipeline. We're going to probably stay more towards the lead generation than database in our time today, and I'm going to try to make sure that we are ending on time, and that'll be good. Go ahead, next slide, dear. Prospecting and marketing, leads, tracking, and offering. So again, leads, one-way and offer-based touch programs. The life of an agent's business is prospecting and marketing, and it should be purposeful and intentional. The more you move, the better strategy that you have here, the more faster you're going to get to your goal of those closed units. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many of you guys have fallen into that trap of the willy-nilly, I'm going to lead generate, well, I'm just chasing people and not being systematic? Is that working for you?
Right.
Probably not, right? I think what we see is most successful agents have a systematic approach of how they're going to touch people. I remember Danny speaking about that, how often he reaches out to people, how many cards he hands out a day to make sure that that's his lead generation. And now over time, you start to get referrals, right, Jody? Things start to come around. So that's where you start to get exponential growth. But you've got to understand this fundamental piece of this prospecting and marketing. So what does it mean to be prospecting driven, marketing enhanced? What does that mean to you guys? And I think you can go to the next slide. Prospecting based, marketing enhanced. What's prospecting?
Seeking.
Prospecting is obviously more direct, right? Direct action.
Prospecting is seeking. Marketing is attracting.
It's attracting, right? I have always, I think as a new realtor comes in, I think their mind goes to marketing first. Like, how do I get flyers, or how do I, buy a bus ad or whatever that's going to bring business to me, which we teach the exact opposite. You're going to get much greater return out of your time and out of your money by being prospecting, right? It takes a lot of time, but it's proactive and you get immediate results exactly on the screen. Marketing is more money intensive. It's passive. You're letting people come to you and has longer term results.
Yeah, if you think about the person, prospecting versus marketing, is that, if you want to make a change, you want to increase your business, there's 2 ways to do it. You can make a behavioral change, or you could go write a check, you can spend money. And the example of this would be like, you can either get into action, which is what Dan's been real good about in his group, getting into action, which is prospecting. So your goal is to get into action. And then all of a sudden you get a call. And if you've been in Keller Williams 10 minutes, you're said you need lead generate, you need lead generate, you need lead generate. And, you're lead generating. And Gary will tell you right now, if anybody ever tells you they love to cold call, they love to lead generate every day, they're probably lying, because they're probably convinced, but we've been convinced that we have to do it. So we say we love it, which is probably a good thing. But you're sitting there and you're lead generating, you're getting your business going. Then all of a sudden you get a call from a company that tells you that they're going to sell you leads. Who in here would be transparent enough to say, maybe that doesn't sound so bad? And so that's the example of why marketing is so easy to fall into that trap, where you send stuff out, you blast out. And honestly, with the thing about Command being so effective, don't lose the prospecting part, because you've got to be driven by the contact and the relationship. So that marketing, Jay, you're right on. Don't get caught into it. And for the record, this book, Gary will tell you admittedly, was written with marketing based, prospecting enhanced, believe it or not. It was more kind of marketing based than it was prospecting based in the MREA. That's the reason you hear this quite a bit now. So,
and that would make sense because it was study of such large businesses. And I think as your business scales up, you've got to increase the amount of leads that come in to get to those contacts to fill that funnel. Think about if your goal is to close 10, well, you only need so much in the funnel. But if your goal is to close 100, that funnel is getting wide at the top, right? Fortunately.
And what year was the book written?
Oh my
2003.
gosh. Yeah. If you look on, if you have the handout that came, page 6, which I would recommend you all leading, it has a list of prospecting and marketing activities. So maybe to spark your brain. Now, I've seen some of you guys be very creative in your prospecting activities. So I was hoping that somebody would share, what are you doing prospecting wise that's working for you right now? Bueller.
So Jay, I'm just gonna step in here. In 22 years, my marketing budget has been very, very minuscule. It's all about touching people, staying in touch with those people, contacting those people. I could send out farming emails to a neighborhood once a month for a year and spend thousands of dollars and get no return. Or I could hold one open house in that neighborhood and talk to 4 people and close a transaction.
Right.
And that's for new agents and people that are just starting the business and or single agents. Get in front of people and just have great conversation.
That's great. That's great advice. Listen to Jody. I'll share, because I don't think Sotelo on this recording, but I know he shared. He came up with an idea to prospect his neighborhood. He had a real desire to increase his close units, and he decided, I really want to own my neighborhood. So while COVID has been going on, every Friday he arranges for a food truck to come to his neighborhood. And so he communicates with the neighborhood, people in the neighborhood. He puts flyer on their door, and they text him their order, and then he sends the order to the food truck. And I was like, that's brilliant. So he is seeing a great amount of not only, Mets, he's meeting everyone in his neighborhood. They're appreciative because he's brought somebody that's cooking food in their neighborhood where they may not be able to go to a restaurant or any of that. And he is like the patron saint of his neighborhood. That is a great idea that anyone else can borrow and really get into contact with the people in your neighborhood. All right. Or it may be an area that you want to farm, right, Jody? Anyone else have something that they're doing prospecting wise that they're seeing great results?
I just want to kind of butt in on this. So I'm a newer agent. I just started last week, and I decided to post on, thank you, I appreciate it. I decided to post on Facebook. I got a lot of people that liked, commented, shared my stuff. And I started to realize, okay, how can I touch each one of them in a personal way? So, and I also too, to be able to add their information into command. So I decided to kind of create a mass message, and I just sent it out, not to each person individually that liked, shared, commented on those posts. And I got a lot of response, people willingly giving me their addresses and phone numbers and things like that. And I honestly didn't think I was going to get that. I was pretty nervous and hesitant to do it, but I'm really surprised at the results that I got from that. And now I haven't had exactly any like actual leads as far as that goes yet, but I'm sure it'll come.
That's right. So now the challenge is, Hope, is to make sure that you get that information into your command database so that you're touching them regularly and trying to grab that mind share, which will be kind of getting to a little bit here in just a second. But that's great, Hope. Good. It takes action, right? You have to get into action. The worst thing that you can do to lead generate is not lead generate, right? Any lead generation is better than no lead generation, right? A lot of shaking heads. What's the issue then? So what are you guys not only doing in your prospecting that's working well, but what's holding you up to keep you from not prospecting? This is the awkward pause where someone steps up, because I know it's an internal thing. Sometimes we just don't feel like it, but how do we press through and we lead generate?
So why do people not, as a general question to everybody, why do people not lead generate? What causes people to not pick up the phone?
Distractions for me.
Okay, distractions. Who was that?
Amber.
Amber, okay. So distractions. Anything else? What causes distractions?
For me, it's calendar, not actually focusing on my calendar and actually following it hour by hour.
I agree. Thank you for being transparent, Amber. Anybody else? Why do people not lead generate? I love the question, Jay.
For me, it's fear of rejection.
Yeah.
So fear of rejection. So interesting. I had this conversation yesterday with Adam Kraft. Actually, we're talking about lead generation and making calls. When we're avoiding something, distractions become the attraction. When we are avoiding something. So if you haven't talked to your database for a while, if you don't know what you're going to say, if you feel like you're bugging them, any of these underlying limiting beliefs, if you ever have them, that will cause you to feel like a distraction is more important and more attractive than what you're supposed to be doing. And then what happens is those distractions cause failure, and then we wonder why we're not succeeding. So if you can get to the core of what would cause you or why you're not making those calls, then you can figure out how to avoid the distractions. Otherwise, you're going to get caught into the nitty-gritty of the business. At the end of the day, you're going to go, I had a busy day and I got nothing done.
Right.
So distraction word is a great one. So
what our job is as professional realtors is how do we overcome that and press to make sure that we're moving towards our goals. And that's why I think the big why, if you haven't read the one thing and in the MREA, your big why will help propel you to push through that, to make sure that you're overcoming the fear. And I'm telling you, and it doesn't matter. I call a lot of people, that first phone call, that phone is, but once you exercise that muscle, then it's easy. You just got to break through that first phone call. So maybe that means you have an accountability partner and you're like, okay, we're both going to hold each other accountable to lead generating and making X calls a day. We'll do whatever you have to do to build that muscle up in lead generation. Is going to pay. It is literally the difference between you surviving in this business and not surviving. It's how you lead generate. You've got to be able to do that. All right, can we go back to the slide? And we're going to go to the next slide. We're going to kind of jump here real quick and go to your database, which I think is the next slide. Perfect. So fortunately, hey, I talk to a lot of agents, and I'm telling you, every single person on this call is very blessed because you have access to what our outsiders, Fast Company, Inman are all calling the best technology for real estate agents. We're not tooting our own horn. That is other people. So make sure you're using it, okay? Go to the next slide. So the difference between leads and contacts, which David alluded to, you have leads or you have their valid contact information and can have a one-way conversation when you're seeking permission. That's a big deal. You have not gotten permission to have a two-way conversation with them yet. Contacts are you have valid contact information and have received permission to have a two-way conversation. This is really important. You've got to you have to move people from the lead bucket to the contact bucket. If you've got a bunch of leads, but you're not having a two-way conversation with them, what's that worth, Big Dan? That's it, goose egg. We can, this ad I'm running, that's great. We're getting leads at 40 cents a lead. That's fantastic. But if they're not having conversations with us, it's worthless, right?
Yeah, there's no point in generating leads if you're not going to follow up with them.
That is the biggest thing, and I'm hoping that you guys are leveraging this technology to help you be faster in the follow-up, okay? Go to the next slide, dear. All right, so here's where I think David was driving, and where we'll probably spend the last few minutes is, if you have a lead, and you're a newer agent, or maybe you're an agent that hasn't taken advantage of this, use this 19 to connect system to make sure that you're maintaining mind share with these leads, that you don't have access to have a two-way conversation. It lists all the touches right here, 4 touches, quarterly phone call. So in Command, you can go in and set them up on a 90-day call plan. So your tasks every day, it would tell you, hey, call Amber Harvey, which I have in my Command. It's still from when we met and I recruited you on. Call Amber Harvey. 12 touches, a monthly email newsletter and market video. You can do the monthly neighborhood nurture for them. It takes 1.5 minutes to set it up, and then it's automatically set up. Set up 2 touches, a promotional direct mail or a magnet or a calendar or some kind of market report. Those things you can create your own personal smart plan to prompt you to do. And then 1 touch, an annual event, a party, a movie screening, a get together or whatever. Leverage what the market centers are doing. We've had a couple of different events, excuse me. The Halloween event over here last year, use those things to leverage an extra touch for your leads so that you're getting them from leads to contacts. And then in your contacts, 4 touches, same thing. 26 touches, the bi-weekly nurture is already built in there. It's the semi-monthly neighborhood nurture, I think it's listed in there. And then same thing, the 2 events in the touch. I can guarantee you, and David, I know you know the data better than I will ever know, but if you have these touches set up with your leads and contacts, you will maintain the market share. Would you agree?
Yeah. Are you talking about the return of what you're going to get out of it?
Yes, exactly.
So the 36 to convert your contact section, and I want everybody to write some notes in here on this because this is more of a kind of a coaching conversation. People have a big, I kind of talked about leads and contacts a while ago, and then Jay repeated it, and you can't repeat it enough, really, so a contact is somebody you know, they know you, and I want everybody to understand that your contact database, your goal is to get 10% out of that database. So write that number down. 1 closing for every 10 people. Now, with that being said, is the definition of your database is a lot of times confused. Your contacts, funnel, spot number 3 right there, number 3 is confused. The 10% ratio is based off of this. People you know, they know, you know them, they know you, acquaintances do apply. They live in your market area. So your market area would probably be Pima County. Green Valley, Serena may qualify. Sierra Vista for Pima County people probably doesn't qualify. Okay, so you know them, they know you, acquaintances apply, they live in your market area, and you have their name, their phone number, their address, and their email address, which is right in line with what section of Command?
The contacts page. I mean,
so it's called the health of your database.
Oh, yes, database score.
So it's right in line with the health of your database. There's a couple of more items that get you to 100% health. Like, do you have them on a touch system? Do you have what are some other items in there? Dan, you may know. Heather, you should know. What are other items?
Social media.
100%. So
yeah, 4% is birthday, and another 4% is the anniversary of when they bought the house. And it's really neat to go and get those things and make the health of your database at 100%, because most of the time you can get the birthday from the title company and or Facebook, and the date of anniversary you can get off of the Pima County website, the day they closed escrow, through the CR form online. So great ways to get your database to 100% of health for each contact.
That's awesome.
So the 10%, here's the clarity on this. The 10% is not for that big group of database that includes the people that live in Kansas City. It's for the people that you know them, they know you, acquaintances apply, they live in your market area, and you have their name, their email, their phone number, and their address. So you can mail them, you can email them, you can call them, you can text them. You can also put them into Command with their address so they can have a customized experience with the searches, etc. Now what the hallucination people have around their database is, you ask them how many's in their database, and they go on there. Like if you go to my phone, it says like 4,000 in my phone. That's not my database. And then they go, well, I got 3,000. That includes 1,000 people from where they used to live. And some of you ahas maybe this. My database is actually a lot smaller than you thought. Then go build it.
Go build it.
Go meet people. We don't have to stay in our houses anymore, right? Social distancing still applies. You can still figure out and get creative. How do I meet people today? Add them to it. put them into your 36 to convert, and boom, then your goal is one closing for every 10 people. So I think that helps understanding the clarity of those numbers.
Awesome. David, so to get your contact to 100%, you must have a phone number, email, address, neighborhood, home anniversary, and birthday in there.
Excellent.
What if they don't have a home anniversary? Really, home anniversary is really part of the health?
Yep.
So it tells their percentage per those categories, and those are the main 6 categories that they calculate off of.
What if they're a renter? What do you put in if they're a renter?
You leave it empty.
My guess, yeah, you would leave it empty if they're a renter, or you could put when they're looking to purchase by.
I'm going to put when the lease expires.
Or that too.
That's a great idea, Jody. That's a great idea. That's money right there.
Yep.
Hey guys, as we wrap up, I want to hit this last screen because this is important, and it's exactly what David was hitting. Can you go to the last slide there? Perfect. So this is exactly what David was talking about, the cultivating stage. So as you're making these contacts, as you're using the 19 to connect or the 36 to convert, people are going to raise their hand. They're going to be like, oh, I'm interested in buying a home, or I know someone that's interested in buying a home. And then that's where you start to work them into the appointment stage and to get them under an agreement. This is a big deal. If you are not touching them in a very regular manner, you're giving them no opportunity to raise their hand and tell you that they know someone that wants to do business, or I want to do business myself. So automate as much of this as possible. It does not substitute, and I hear you, David, in my ear, you cannot substitute the quarterly call. You have to be on the phone with them every quarter to make sure that you're maintaining that mind share and giving them opportunity to raise that hand. How many times have you called someone, you hadn't called them in a while, and you call them, they're like, oh yeah, I know someone. Well, if you hadn't called, they're probably not calling you to tell you, correct? You inserted into that area and you're pulling the business. Make sense? Any questions or any comments as we wrap up? I know we're running a little bit over time.
We're good. I don't think you can cover this. I don't think you can cover this concept enough. And
No.
like Jody said, I think it was Jody, the command, maybe you did, is works completely congruent with it. It's all, I mean, obviously, clearly why. I mean,
This
by the way,
visual-
if somebody's not using command, you can still use this funnel. It just doesn't mean you have to use command. It's all congruent. So
Yeah, to me, this funnel really helps me understand how they built command and why they built it the way they built it. It is to support this one function.
Yep.
It is to help agents find leads, get them into contacts, cultivate a relationship, and then get them into the sales pipeline. All right, guys, last chance. Any questions or comments?
I love Jody's last one. If you don't call, the answer is no unless you ask.
That's right. That is exactly right. All right, guys, I really appreciate it. I appreciate all you. If you need anything, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're always available. And thanks, David and Jody, so much for all the input. And I'll see you guys soon.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.